make sure that Snejana is not the spotlighted person so everyone can see me. All right. And then I'll do this. Okay, cool. So the first exercise that we're going to do, we've done some of these exercises before in these classes, guys, so not everything is going to be brand new. But the first exercise we're going to do using a wall or something that you can lean against, we're going to do 30 anterior tibialis raises. Now we're going to do them with my speed, so I'll guide you with the speed of the movement. Don't rush, because it's the speed of the movement that's going to help with the strengthening, okay? So what we're going to do, coming over to the wall, feet are going to be away from the wall like this, so we're angled away from the wall. Lean slightly forward, so we're creating a little bit of tension into the feet. No hands on the wall, okay? So hands are away from the wall, it's just the glutes touching the wall. Body is leaning slightly forward, engaging the core. Feet are angled in front of the knees, knees are stretched. All right, we're going to lift the whole foot off, keeping the heels on the floor. Up and hold, and back down. That's one. We're going to do this 30 times. Up, that's 2. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25. Good. Coming down to the ground, you're going to grab that yoga block. All right, and you have the option now to do this 1 foot at a time or both feet together, okay? I would suggest for the first round that you use both feet together. It's just going to make it a little bit less intense. But what you're going to do is place from this part of your foot here onto the block, and then kneel onto that block. So, okay, so your feet are placed onto the block like this, and then you're going to sit back into this position, allowing the ankles to stretch out. We're going to hold that position for 30 seconds. So 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly coming out of that stretch. Standing up. Coming over to the wall now. We're going to do calf raises. Facing the wall. Angled away from the wall. So you want to have a good angle. So basically, the goal here is that it's almost like we have enough of a calf stretch that our heels won't touch the floor. So we're quite angled away from the wall. So push as far back as you can so that you're getting, it's almost like your heels won't be able to touch the ground. Good. And then you're going to push your hips flat. So you want to make sure that your hips and your back are in a nice straight line. And then we're going to do 30 calf raises in this position. But you're going to go up and then slowly back down. So it's up in 1 second, down in 3 seconds. So going up, down, down, down. Up, 2, 3, 4. Up 3, 2, 3, 4. Up 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 6, 2, 3, 4, 7, 2, 3, 4, 8, 2, 3, 4, 9, 2, 3, 4, 10, 11, 2, 3, 4, 12, 2, 3, 4, 13, 2, 3, 4, 14, 2, 3, 4, 15, 2, 3, 4, 16, 2, 3, 4, 17, 2, 3, 4, 18, 2, 3, 4, 19, and 20. 10 more. Going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good, shake it out. Nice burn in the calves. Yeah. Good, grab that yoga block from before. And what we're going to do is we're going to place the yoga block up against the wall so that it's the long side of the yoga block flat against the wall. Okay? Up against the wall like that. Good. You're going to place your toes against the yoga block and try and get the ball of your foot down onto the floor. And then you're going to bend your knee and push that knee into the wall and then come back out. And we're going to do this 10 times on each foot. Just pushing in for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Changing feet, other side. Pushing the knees in for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. Grabbing that TheraBand, sitting down on the floor. Now I've got a weight here that I'm going to use, but if you do have something like a chair or something that you can tie the TheraBand to, eventually that's going to be very helpful. Otherwise, you're going to have to find something that can pull in the opposite direction. But if you have something that you can utilize, that's perfect. All right. So what we're going to do, sitting down, you're going to wrap the band around your toes. So what we want to feel in this position is that our leg is fully stretched, okay? So the goal here is that we're almost like at the beginning of the exercise, we're going so much into what's called dorsiflexion. So we're flexing so much so that the heel is going beyond where the toes are. Okay, so flexing as much as you possibly can. Then what you're going to do is you're going to go into what's called plantar flexion. So you're pointing the foot, but not the toes. Then you're pointing the toes, flexing the toes, dorsiflexing the ankle. Okay, point the foot, toes, relax the toes, bring the foot back. We're going to do this 10 times on each side. So going for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Swapping sides. Getting into the other foot. Again, going for 10. So point the foot, point the toes, flex the toes, flex the foot. 2, 3, 4. Oops. Keep going. Good. Bringing your foot to your band towards the inside of the body. You can swap feet or you can stay on the same foot, doesn't really matter, we're going to do both feet. You're going to put your other foot on the inside of the band. You're going to point that foot, allow it to sickle in, and then wing the foot out to the side. Sickle, wing. We're going to do this 10 times on each side. So you're going for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Swapping sides. Pointing that foot, allowing the foot to sickle in. And then we're going out, pulling the foot out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. It's important with this one that we start with a pointed foot. So we don't want to keep the foot flexed here. We're actually pointing the foot into that movement. And then we're allowing it to go in and out. In and out. Yeah, that's better. Good. All right. Tying the TheraBand to your weighted apparatus, whether it be a chair or a bench or something that you can pull against, that when you do the exercise, it's not going to pull whatever it's tied to all the way across the room. So it should be heavy as well. If you can put something on top of a chair to make it heavier, that's going to be great. If you can tie it to a bar, that'll work usually. My foot isn't stronger than the 12 kilo weight that I've tied mine to. Sitting down, you're going to place your foot inside the band. And we're doing the opposite of the exercise that we just did. So instead of letting the foot start in and then going out, we're letting the foot be pulled out, and then we're winging the foot in, sickling that foot in. So working the foot against that resistance. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so part of the goal of this exercise, obviously we don't need to be strong necessarily in this alignment of the foot. What we're working on is the control of the foot back to that neutral position. So yes, we're pulling the foot this way, but then it's the controlling as the foot gets pulled back into that winged position by the band. All right, so swapping feet, once you've done 10, swap to the other foot. Go for 10 on the other foot. If it's feeling very easy, you can pull farther away from the weight. So we're starting with a stretched band. If the weight is rolling, make sure that the weight probably needs to be heavier. Okay, so something that you can pull against. Tying it to the weight bench might be a better option. All right. Once you've done that one, what you're going to do is you're going to wrap the band around your foot. So placing the band like this so that your foot is like in a flex position and the band is being pulled by the weight, you're then going to cross it and wrap it around your foot one more time. So it's like wrapped around the foot twice. Cross the band and then wrap it one more time around your foot. Once you've gotten there, you're going to flex your foot as much as you can, pulling back, and then allow it to point without it pulling off your toes. So your toes are going to stay flexed, and then you're going to flex the foot. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Swapping sides. Again, going for 10 reps. Going for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. So this one is very similar to that first exercise that we did standing up against the wall. It's going to work that same part of the front of the shin. The difference is that when we're standing up against the wall, the angle of the foot is probably about there, whereas when we're doing this one, we can get a much more pointed foot. Okay, so the range of motion with this one is much deeper, plus you're working 1 foot at a time as opposed to working 2 feet, which means that you can't cheat the movement. Okay, so you really have to work very specifically to each leg. All right, so it's a little bit more what we call an isolated exercise specifically for that one area of the body. All right, so that's the TheraBand series. Okay, so we've had a few different parts of this program so far. First was the anterior tibialis raise, which was what we did up against the wall. Then we stretched that out again, so sitting onto the yoga block like what we did before. Then we did the calf raises where you're facing the wall, rising up and down quite slowly. Then we stretched out the base of the foot. So what we do when we're doing those calf raises, especially at an angle, is we're strengthening a part of the foot called the FHL. So it's a muscle that runs from underneath the big toe all the way up through the foot, all the way up to the top of the shin. When we do that stretch where the toes are flexed against the block and we're pushing the knee into the wall, we're then stretching that back out again. So everything is a counterbalance of stretch and strength. We're not just strengthening, we're not just stretching, we're working both sides of it. Okay? Then we have the TheraBand exercises, which are going to get more detailed into those small articulations of the foot. So not necessarily about strength, but being able to isolate and point and flex different parts of the foot without it all happening at the same time. The next exercise, if you grab your towel and your chair, this one is going to help with that second metatarsal not causing you pain in your releve. So I don't know, some of you may have experienced this, some of you may not have at this point. When you rise up onto a demi-point position like this, oftentimes dancers will get pain right here. And it'll feel like they either have to roll to one side or the other of that second metatarsal. It's like it's a ball under their foot, and when they're up on that releve, they either have to go in or out in order to not be on that, and it'll kind of wobble back and forth. Part of the reason for that is when we rise up, what happens is instead of the muscles in the foot causing the second metatarsal to retract and pull up, it actually drops. And so the second metatarsal is dropping lower than the rest of the metatarsals of the foot, which means that you're going to have that pain of that part of the foot pushing into the ground. So what we want to do is we actually need to strengthen the muscles in the foot to support and what we call dome in the foot movement. Okay, so what you're going to do, you're going to sit back so that you have a 90-degree angle. Just the big toe from the big toe joint is on the towel. And what you're going to do is you're going to use your toes and the doming of your foot to pull that towel towards you. Until it's fully scrunched up underneath your toes. Once you get there, straighten it back out again. Do it again, 5 times on each foot. Good. So once you've done that 5 times on each foot, you can feel, I'm sure you can feel how much energy it takes your toes to try and pull that towel back. It starts to get to the point where your toes don't want to do it anymore. They're quite fatigued. Yeah, that engagement of your toes in the floor is really important because, especially for girls who are wanting to do point, yeah, or if you've ever had point shoes on, this is going to help to engage your toes in your point shoes. It's also going to help to make sure that when you do rise up, that second metatarsal is not dropping down into the floor, that you're able to maintain a held foot in that relevant. Take your legs, guys. See where we're at time-wise. We have time to do the whole thing all over again. Maybe, maybe not. Let's do an abridged version. So we'll do all of the strength work. Maybe we won't do the TheraBand. We'll do some of the stretches again. Okay, so you're going to stand back up, going back over to the wall, feet out in front. Another 30 anterior tibialis raises. Up and hold, and back down, starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Good. Grabbing the yoga block, coming down onto the mat. 25 is enough for now. Come down to the yoga block. Toes onto the yoga block. Sitting back, stretching through the tops of your feet and into your ankles. Holding for 30 seconds. Good. Coming out of the stretch. Standing back up, coming over to the wall. This time we'll do 15 on each side, but we're going to do single leg. So one leg at a time. Okay? So we're not going to do 30. We're going to do one leg at a time, rising up, slowly back down. Starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rise up. 3, 2, 1. Up 2, 3, 2, 1. Up 3, 3, 2, 1. Up 4, 3, 2, 1. Up 5, 3, 2, 1. Up 6, 3, 2, 1. Up 7, 3, 2, 1. Up 8, 3, 2, 1. 9, 3, 2, 1. 10, 3, 2, 1. 11, 3, 2, 1. 12, 13, 14, 15. Swap to the other foot. Starting in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15. Grabbing the yoga block, placing it up against the wall. Bending your toes, flexing your toes into the block, pushing the knee forward into the wall, and coming back again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Swapping sides, pushing the toes into the block, going for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. How is everyone's feet feeling after that? Tired, sore, all right? Good. Yeah.
Can I just ask for this exercise?
Yeah.
What about back leg? Does it matter? Where is it? Can we lift heels? Doesn't matter.
You can lift the heels. It's not a big deal. What's most important is that you should be feeling a stretch all the way through the base underneath the foot and up into the Achilles tendon.
Okay.
So if you're not feeling that, try and get more pressure through the toes. Okay, so some people really have an easy time flexing their toes. Some people don't, especially depending on whether you have a bunion or if it's you know, if you've don't have very mobile toes in that flex position. It can be hard to get into that right place. But the goal is to get the toes fully flexed up against the block with the whole metatarsal base on the floor.
So back leg doesn't matter, basically.
Back leg's not important. It's all about trying to get your knee to the wall with those toes flexed. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Any questions, guys? Any other questions about any of this stuff? Yes, Ava, go for it.
When we're doing like the doming exercise, are we meant to like sort of scrunch and like bend our toes or keep them flat?
You can, look, ideally you don't want to have to scrunch the toes too much because what it's more about is getting the foot to go like this.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so it's more than the toes pulling the towel. It's like your pressure of the toes into the floor, but not curling. Does that make sense? And
yeah, it does. Thank you.
Is you're trying to lift the second metatarsal up. So it's like, I'll show you as best as I can with my foot here. Instead of going like that, which would be curling the toes.
Yeah.
It's that kind of movement.
Thank you.
It does make it harder. If you're just curling your toes and pulling with the toes, you'll get some benefit, but it's not going to have the same kind of impact on that second metatarsal, which is what we're trying to achieve. Yeah. Cool.
Thanks.
Any other questions, guys? No? So I suggest from a dance perspective and even just from keeping your feet and your ankles healthy for the rest of your life, doing this 2 to 3 times a week. Yeah. So you can run through it a couple times when you do it. You don't have to stop it once. You can do it once or twice. It takes, as you can see, it takes about half an hour. What are we at? Half an hour to 40 minutes to do it a couple times. It's a really good warm-up as well. So if you're wanting to have a warm-up that you can do for your lower, just from the knees down for dance, this is an excellent warm-up for that. All right. Awesome, guys. Good work. I will see everyone for artistry tomorrow night. Have a good
Okay,
night.
thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Shane.
Thank you, Mia.